Hello everyone, we're here again. Here's Mike and also me.
Janet. When we changed our channel name, it's Mike and Janet something something something. I'll let you know in a couple days. Hey everybody. I've been getting a few questions about preparing to come to the Philippines from the beginning to the end. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to make this video. It's going to be a 3-part video. So this is going to be the first part. While you're still in your home country preparing to come here. And I'm more or less dealing with the single guy coming here. Not dealing with a family man that's got a wife and kids and moving here. Just a single guy. So the first thing you have to do is you have to be emotionally ready to come here. You have to be emotionally prepared. You're going to leave your family. You're going to be leaving your friends. You're going to be leaving places you hang out at. Bowling alleys, pool halls. You're going to be leaving all this stuff, the corner bar. Are you ready for that? Are you ready not to have the friends that you've had for the last 10, 15, 20 years? Are you ready to not see your family as often as you used to? Are you ready to miss the holidays, Christmas, and birthdays with your immediate family? You have to be emotionally prepared for this move. You should take some time. You should sit away from everything. You should go somewhere quiet and really think it over. It's a big decision to make to leave the States or whatever country you're in and come here to the Philippines. You have to be prepared not to have any support here. You know, if you're living on a low budget in the US, low income, there's no support system here. There's no Medicare, there's no Medicaid, there's no food stamps, there's no help with the utilities. You're on your own here. You have to survive here on your own with your own money. Now I know 800 or 1,000 a month, if that's all you're getting, it's not a good life back home and it's a better life here. Just be prepared for that. Emotionally, be prepared that you won't be able to do everything you want to do. Back home, that $800 or $1,000 might have been just enough to get by. Here, it's a little bit more than enough to get by, but you're not going to have that experience of island hopping, visiting a lot of different cities. You're probably just going to locate in one town, one city, and make a life there. You have to be mentally prepared for the substandard housing here. Now, you know, back in your home country, if you don't have air conditioning or you don't have hot water or you don't have heat in the winter, you can complain and a government agency will make sure that those are taken care of. Here, there's nobody but you and your landlord. If there's no air conditioning, there's no air conditioning. If the water's not hot, it's not hot. If the water pressure is low and just a trickle out of the faucet, that's what it is. There's nobody you can complain to other than your landlord. Your homes, wherever you live, if it's an older apartment or an older home, it's going to have bugs. It's going to have mice. It's going to have everything. The Philippines is a lot of jungle, is a lot of older buildings. They don't have that great pest control system as we do in the US or in your home country. You have to be prepared for your home. If it's furnished, the furniture will probably be old, outdated. You know, you're probably going to have to buy a mattress. Things will be different here. Mentally, you have to be ready for all the differences. You know, hearing the rooster, hearing the dogs bark, hearing the chickens all the time, loud motorbikes. All this is normal here. It might not be normal for you back home. It's a different way of life, and you have to be prepared for it. It's not going to be all fun and games. If you're on a small budget, it won't be. But if you're on a good-sized budget, you can have a great time here. But you have to be mentally prepared for the move over to here. You have to prepare yourself physically. You have to take control of yourself, what kind of shape you're in. Now me, this is something I didn't do. I did not do a lot of walking to get into good shape. When I got here into the Philippines, I found myself walking a lot. And with the hot weather and the humidity, it was hard. Eventually you got used to it. But get yourself in physical shape the best you can before you come here. Watch your diet before you come here. Sweets are something you want to avoid here in the Philippines because there's sugar in everything. As you get older, diabetes might creep up on you. So my suggestion is to wean yourself off of sweets. chocolate bars, Lay's potato chips, ice cream. I eat all those, and I'm having problems because of it. I'm gaining weight. Basically, make sure you go see the doctor. If you have insurance, take this time to go and get as many tests done as possible. Know what your cholesterol level is. Know what your blood pressure is normally. Do you need medication for your blood pressure? If you are on meds, start stocking up on it. Tell the doctor that you're leaving for a year and you'd like to get a longer supply of medication that you would need. Get as many tests done as possible. If your insurance buys you eyeglasses, get an extra pair. If you can go to the hospital, and the one thing I haven't done is get a colonoscopy. Get that done. Know as much about yourself as possible. Get a chest x-ray, get an ultrasound. Just get a complete checkup. Know what your health is, know what your limitations are before you get here. That way you can make a good judgment on where to live. Will you have to live close to the hospital, or are you in such good shape that you can live farther away and take that chance? But be prepared for the heat. Be prepared for walking. It's hot. And if you're going to choose to live on a beach and you want to live close to the ocean, start swimming more. If you haven't been swimming all along, swim more. Because once you get here, that's one of the things you can enjoy. That really doesn't cost you any money. Snorkeling and swimming, especially if you choose a beach area like DUMAGUETE, Alona Beach, Panglao, where you're closer to the beach and you can enjoy the sea. The biggest thing people aren't doing is they're not planning properly. Before you come here, you have to plan. When and for how long are you coming to the Philippines? Or any country. You know, this can go for any country. Are you planning to come to the Philippines for 1 year and then go back? 2 years? Or for a lifetime? That's your decision. You have to decide which one it is. And be prepared for what kind of visa you're going to get. Are you going to come here on a tourist visa? Are you going to come and get an SRRV? All these things you need to plan ahead of time so you know what documentations you need. What are the fees going to be? Who do you contact? Where do you get these things? Plan for that. If you're going to go for the military SRRV, make sure you have your DD-214, you get it apostilled, and all the documents that you need to get that visa. If you're just doing a tourist visa, you can get that at the airport upon arrival. But if you're planning on being married, bring your divorce papers. Bring as much documentation as you can of everything. How are you going to do your taxes? If you can get the tax forms ahead of time before you come here, do so. If you're using H&R Block or some sort of online tax service, make sure you have access to your W-2s and anything else that you need to have to file your taxes. And don't forget to bring your medical records. I saw the doctor and they asked me a bunch of questions. I can't answer them because I didn't bring my medical. Medical's a big thing, especially as you're getting older and you don't want to get caught by surprise with something. So bring as much as you can. Bring your dental records if you have them, your medical records. You know, what was your blood pressure last year, this year, so you can see if it's going up or going down or staying consistent. If you get blood work done, bring those results with you so you can compare them in a year or two when you get it done here. And how about when you get here? Are you going to be calling home? Do you have a phone service? Do you have a phone plan? Do you have a way to call your family and your friends? Do you have a way to contact your bank? Get all these things lined up before you get here. And mail. How about your mail? How are you going to get your mail? I post the one I use. The link is down below in the description. $10 a month. It's a good deal. But you need to be able to receive your mail from the Social Security, from the IRS, from your banks, from anywhere. Credit card companies. What if your credit card expires or your bank card expires? They have to mail it somewhere, and they're not mailing it overseas. So they have to mail it somewhere. And do you really want to burden a family member for something that only costs $10 or $15 a month? What if they're busy the day you really need something? What if they're out of town when that gets delivered? Or it gets misplaced? Think hard about where you're getting your mail and where you're getting all your messages. And what about your travel plans? When you get here, is your final destination a city where you met a girl online? Well, that's one thing. Is your final destination unknown because you want to travel the Philippines, that you're going to come to Cebu City for a week or two and coming to Dumaguete for a week or two, and then you're on to Iloilo and Davao City. What are your travel plans? Know where you're going ahead of time. Maybe you want to book those ahead of time. Book the rooms. Know when the Philippine holidays are. You don't want to get caught here like we did. We were up in Cebu City, a holiday came, we wanted to stay an extra day, but there were no hotel rooms available.
Yes, it's really.
It was full. So even with us being in the city, we couldn't find a hotel. So make your plans, know when the holidays are. And if you're going to stay in a city like Dumaguete for 2 or 3 weeks, just book the room for a few nights and make sure that's the kind of place you want to stay. You'll meet somebody, you can look around, maybe there's a better rate somewhere. Don't get locked into any kind of long-term lease or prepaid unless it's a great deal and that's what you want. But know your travel plans. And how are you going to travel? You're going to be traveling by ferry, plane?
Ferry or plane?
If you get a girlfriend and she wants to travel with you, maybe she's never been on a plane and your expenses will double. And what about your finances? Get your finances in order before you come here. Make sure you have an income stream. You have some way of making money. Either that's going to be your Social Security, it's going to be your pension, it's going to be your 401k. But if you're a younger guy, maybe it's your savings. And you're going to have to stretch that for a couple of years before you get to Social Security. Maybe you have rental income. Whatever method that you're making money, because remember, the world revolves around money. You got to have money. Make sure you know how to get it here in the Philippines. Too many people come here and then they sign up for Social Security just before they leave. And then they get here and their first check never arrives. There's a problem with what bank they're going to use. So I would always recommend before you leave, get at least 1 or 2 checks deposited into your bank account before you leave the country, if you can. It's pretty hard to take care of these problems once you're gone. It's easier to take care of them while you're still in the States, close to your bank, and close to Social Security office. You want to make sure you're getting your money. And if you're renting your property, make sure whoever's managing it for you has the right banking information, that they're depositing it in the right bank for you. If it's a relative, a management company, or if you have the renters, just put the check in your bank account. Just make sure all that is under control before you leave. Make sure all that is well taken care of. And then when you're here, before you get here, you know how to get the money transferred to you here. You know how to work World Remit, Wise, Zoom, all these different methods to get money. Western Union. Make sure you have an app. Make sure you have a way to get your money. The important thing is to have money, but the most important thing is access to your money. If you can't get to your money, what good is it? And guys, have a savings. Have some money just in case something bad happens. Have some money in case you lose something. You lose your phone, you lose your camera, you lose your baggage. Make sure you have some savings to get you through. It's more expensive than you think when you first get here. The first month or two is very expensive. You're eating out a lot more. You're staying in nicer hotels. You don't have an apartment yet. The cost of living as a tourist, your first month or two here, is just like back home. It's expensive. Nothing's cheap. Nothing is free here. Everything costs money. We never get a free meal, do we?
If somebody subscribe will treat us.
If a subscriber treats us, we get a free meal. But nothing's free. Hotels aren't cheap. You go to a hotel, they're not going to give you a room free. If you find one for under $30, that's a great deal. But if you're traveling, are you going to have the time to look for these best deals? No, you're going to grab the first place with a vacancy, and you're going to be paying $40, $50 a night. Have extra money for the initial extra expenses that you're going to have. And check with your insurance company. While you're here for the first year, maybe you can be covered under a travel plan in case you have a medical emergency. Make sure you know what these things cover. What if you fall down and you twist your ankle or you break heaven forbid, you break a bone? and you go to emergency room here or to the hospital, chances are you're going to have to pay for it. Hopefully you have the right insurance where they'll reimburse you. Find out before you travel, especially initially when you first get here until you get situated. If you're coming here for long term, you're staying here forever, things will be a little bit different. You probably have a girlfriend already. You're probably going right to her hometown, and she's already been looking for a house or an apartment for you to rent, and you'll find that pretty quick and you'll get settled in. But if you're a single guy and you're traveling, you want to travel the Philippine Islands, it's going to cost more. And insurance, something you can't buy here easily. It's not cheap. And they have so many different clauses about pre-existing illnesses, a period of time from when you first enroll until you're covered. Check with your own insurance company to see what they cover before you venture out. It's just a phone call or walk into your agent's office to find out the truth and find out what it really covers and does not cover. Make sure everything's up to date. Your driver's license. If you have the time, go get a driver's license and get an extended expiration date on it. Same thing with your bank cards. The farther out these documents go before they expire, the better it is for you. Let your bank know you're leaving the country. I told my banks I'm leaving for a year, and here I am a year and a half and no problems. The first time you try to contact your bank from the Philippines and they don't know that you left the country, you might not have access to your accounts. So let your banks know you're traveling. Some banks you don't even have to go in, you just go online and you just give them your travel information and that's it. But make sure everybody knows that you're traveling. Make sure your credit cards will work where you're going. Know what the fees are. Are there going to be transaction fees overseas? What do they call that? Foreign transaction fees. And if you use an ATM, which ones are going to reimburse your fees, if any? Make sure you know what your cards are going to charge you, what your bank's going to charge you to use money to get money. Also, plan on an emergency. Have somewhere on you, in your phone, in an envelope preferably, all your contact information in case there's an emergency here in the Philippines and somebody has to contact your family back home. Have some contact information. And if you're going to stay here a long time, contact the embassy. Let them know you're here in the Philippines. What if you have a problem? If you're not registered that you're here, they don't know you're here. Very important. Very important. In case you get in an accident, you end up in a hospital, you end up in jail, you end up in the morgue. They need to know that you're here in the country so they can help you. And if you're thinking of sending a ballot buy-on box, now, there are different charges for this depending where in the country you live. I paid from Phoenix to get it here in the Philippines $145. And that was a 24 by 24 box. And I put in there my tennis shoes, extra tennis shoes. I put extra clothes in there. I put some pots. I put some pans. I put some plastic plates. Extra medicine like, aspirin, Tylenol, some bed sheets that I liked. I filled this box up and I knew exactly where I was going to live, so I had it sent to me. But if you're going to be traveling around the Philippines, you don't need this stuff. Just sell everything and just come. If you have a girlfriend and you're going to make DUMAGUETE or whatever city your home, yeah, you can go ahead and send all that stuff. It takes 30 to 45 days to get here. So send it 2 or 3 weeks before you leave, then you can be situated here and then you can receive it. You can put as much as you want in the box as long as the box holds its shape, and make sure you put a phone number on there. If you have a girlfriend, put her Philippine phone number, because these delivery guys, they call the phone number and get the final last mile delivery information, landmarks, where your house is.
Yes.
So put her phone number on there.
Where is your location?
They find your location, you'll get it. It won't get lost that way. This was the first of 3 videos in a series. The next one is startup money and your budget. And the final one will be, what is your end game? Until next time.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
See you.